entering our next unit, which is where instead of graphing lines, we're now working backwards and we're going to write equations of lines. So our notes today is not a notes handout. You're going to have to write this down. So make sure you have a piece of paper on your desk as well as 2 highlighters. Go ahead and pause this video if you guys aren't up to speed. Otherwise, we can go ahead and get started. So in your table of contents, you can end where it says linear functions, and I want the next topic to be writing equations of lines. And I'm going to write that heading here. Writing equations of lines. Go ahead and put that in your table of contents, and then flip over to your brand new blank piece of loose leaf paper. And go ahead and write this as your heading. Okay. You can pause this video at any point that you need to pause to get caught up. Just make sure everybody's following along. Okay. So I'm going to write down this first question, and I want you to answer it. First question. When you hear equation of a line, you think blank. When you hear the words equation of a line, you should immediately think something. I want you to write down that equation on your paper. Hopefully, when you hear the word equation of a line, you're going to write down y, oh, that looks terrible. Let's just write it in pen. Y equals mx plus b. Whenever you hear the words equation of a line, you think y equals mx plus b. Okay? So some special things about this equation. Y has to be alone. M is always next to x, and b is always the constant. Okay? M, what does M stand for? M stands for slope, and b stands for y-intercept. Now, if you take a look at this equation right here, notice you have 1, 2, 3, 4 variables, yes? Out of those 4 variables, what are the only 2 variables that change to numbers? The variables that change to numbers are M and B. M and B are the only numbers in y equals mx plus b that are ever going to end up as numbers. Okay? So everything we do in here has a goal. So we have a goal today. Goal. Find the values of M and B to write an equation. In order to write an equation, I need to know M and B, so that's my goal. If my goal is that I'm writing equations of lines, I better find M and B so that I can plug them in. Okay? We have 4 different methods in which we can graph lines, and today we're only going to talk about 3 of them. And I was trying to scroll paper, but let's go to the next page. Okay, so we have method number 1. Method 1. Method 1 is when we are looking at a picture. Looking at a picture. Your homework last night was when you had to take a graph and you had to write an equation of a line. That was method 1. So when I was doing my homework last night, how did I find M and how did I find B? So to find B, what did you do? You looked where the line crosses or crossed the y-axis. That was how you found B. I looked where the line crossed the y-axis. How about to find M? Pick 2 points and rise over run. The first thing I did was I found B, which is where my line crossed the y-axis, and then I picked 2 points and did rise over run to find M. Okay. Now, when you find B and then you find M, okay, once you find them, you're done. Write the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. That's method 1. All right. Method number 2, everybody's favorite. Method 2. I'm going to write an example. Example. Given a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of 3, write the equation of a line. Okay, so go ahead and finish copying this down. Given a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of 3, write the equation of a line. So whenever you see the words equation of a line, it better be highlighted or underlined. And whenever you hear the words equation of a line, what do you immediately think? Y equals mx plus b. Your brain has a lot to remember. Having to remember every single word is important, so we try to create cheats and shortcuts along the way. So whenever you hear the word equation of a line, it should be underlined or highlighted, and you should write y equals mx plus b on it. So in order to write an equation of a line, what 2 variables do I need to know? Well, I need to know what m equals, and I need to know what b equals. So let's go ahead and look at this problem. Does this problem tell me anything about m? Well, m stands for slope, and it tells me my slope in this problem is 2, so that means m equals 2. All right, how about b? B stands for my y-intercept. This problem tells me my y-intercept is 3. So I know m, I know b, I'm done. So I just have to write the equation. If I circled this and I move to the next problem, I'm losing points because I didn't write the equation. How I write the equation? Y equals 2x plus 3. And I'm done because I wrote my equation that looks just like y equals mx plus b. Let's look at another one. Given a slope of -2 and a y-intercept of -1, write the equation of a line. Given a slope of -2 and a y-intercept of -1, write the equation of a line. So out of all of these words, what word stands out the most to me? Equation of a line. Whenever you hear the word equation of a line, what do you immediately write on your paper? Y equals mx plus b. In order to write an equation of a line, what 2 pieces of information do you need to know? I need to know what m equals, and I need to know what b equals. So let's read this problem. It says the slope is -2 and a y-intercept is -1. So m equals the same thing as slope, and slope is -2, so I'm going to write -2. And b is my y-intercept. B equals -1. So if I circle this, am I done? No, I have to write my equation. So I'm going to say y equals -2x minus 1. And I'm done. I know I'm done because I've written the equation. It looks like y equals mx plus b. Now some of you are probably going to ask me, well, can m be -2 over 1? Yeah, you could technically write -2 over 1 as your answer, but usually your final equation is as simplified as possible, and that answer does not look simplified. Okay? You always want your answer as simplified as you can, so I would rather have it y equals -2x minus 1. Okay? So I'm going to write this one on the board, and I want you to pause this video once you get it copied down, and I want you to answer it on your own. Given a slope of 1/2 and a y-intercept of -5, write the equation of a line. So go ahead and pause this video once you get this copied down and try to solve this one on your own, and then we'll bring it back together and we'll go over the answer. So in this problem, the one thing that I notice is most important is I see the word equation of a line. Whenever you see the word equation of a line, what do you immediately write on your paper? Y equals mx plus b. What two pieces of information do I need to know to write an equation of a line? M and b. M in this problem was 1/2. B in this problem was -5. So if I go ahead and write my equation, I have y equals 1/2 x minus 5. Another way I could have written this is y equals x over 2 minus 5. They all mean the exact same thing. So this is method 2. So let's now talk about method 3. Method 3. Method 3 is when I'm given m and a point. Okay. Third method out of 4 methods. So I'm going to write an example, and we're just going to walk through an example because that's what makes this easiest. So given a slope of 3, a slope of 2, and a point 3, 1, write the equation of a line. Okay. So given a slope of 2 and a point 3, 1, write the equation of a line. So first thing I'm going to do is highlight equation of a line. Whenever you hear the word equation of a line, what do you immediately write on your paper? Y equals mx plus b. In order to write an equation of a line, what two pieces of information do you need to know? I need to know what m equals, and I need to know what b equals. Okay? So looking at this looking at this problem, does this problem tell me anything about m? Well, yes, this problem tells me that my slope is 2, which means my m is 2. So I know m. All right. So now, how about b? Does this problem tell you anything about b? Well, I have the point 3, 1, so I have this point right here. So b represents y-intercept. So does that mean my y value in this problem is 1? Does that mean my y-intercept is 1? Let's talk about this. If I were to go and plot 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, that would be about right there. Okay? What does y-intercept mean? It's where my line crosses the y-axis. Is my point even on the y-axis right there? No. So saying b is 1, that doesn't help us at all. So I'm going to write down what I know. I know if I write down my equation that I know, I have y equals 2x plus b. I don't know what b is, so it's still just a variable. Okay? But notice, in an ordered pair, it is made up of x values and y values. In this equation, I have an x value spot and I have a y value spot. So I could plug 3 in for x and 1 in for y to solve for b. So usually x and y always stay letters. But in this case, I can use x and y to help me find b. So I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to plug it into x. And I'm going to take 1 and I'm going to plug it into y. And now I'm going to solve. So I have 2 times 3, which is 6. And now I want to solve for b, so I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. So b equals -5. So I found m, I found b, If I circle just this, I'm going to lose points because my answer is not an equation. So my equation will say y equals 2x minus 5. And I'm done. Now notice, I used x and y to turn into numbers because of this ordered pair that it gave me. But when I gave you my final answer, x and y went back to being variables. That's how you write an equation. I'm using x and y to help me, but in my final answer, they stay variables. Let's look at another problem. Oops, let me turn it this way. Example. Given slope of -3 and a point to -4, write the equation of a line. Okay. So out of this whole problem, what am I going to highlight? Equation of a line. Whenever you hear the words equation of a line, what do you immediately write on your paper? Y equals mx plus b. I hope you're becoming an expert at this. This is the point. So, y equals mx plus b. In order to write an equation, what pieces of information do I need to know? I need to know what m equals, and I need to know what b equals. Okay? So, let's take a look at this problem. Given a slope of -3 and a point of 2, -4, write the equation. Does this problem tell me anything about m? Well, yeah, it tells me m is -3. Does this problem tell me anything about b? No. So I got to write what I know. So I have y equals -3x plus b. So what am I going to do to find x? I'm sorry, what am I going to do to find b? Because that's my end goal. I'm going to take my ordered pair. I'm going to plug 2 in for x because that's my x spot. -4 in for y because that's my y spot. And then I'm going to solve for b. So I'm going to plug -4 in for y. 2 in for x, and I'm going to solve for b. Now you have to be really careful, because these are usually commonly mixed up. You accidentally plug in x for y and y for x. Be very careful. Labeling x, y really does help. Okay? So now I'm going to solve for b. I'm going to multiply first, so I have -6 plus b equals -4. So now I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So b equals 2. So plug it in over here. So m equals -3, b equals 2. I'm done, right? Nope. I got to write my equation. Y equals -3x plus 2. And I'm done. Again, notice I used x and y, turned them into numbers to find b. But once I found b and I wrote my equation, x and y went back to numbers. That's the way you would write equations of lines. Okay? Let's practice another one. Alright, let's look at this one. Given slope of -2 and point -3, -5, write equation of a line. So if you want to go ahead and pause this video and try this problem on your own, take about 1.5 to 2 minutes to try to solve this problem on your own, and then we'll go over it together as a class. So out of this whole word problem, the words that mean the most to me, equation, let me not highlight it in black, equation of a line. Whenever you hear the words equation of a line, what do you immediately write on your paper? Y equals mx plus b. In order to write an equation of a line, what do I need to know? I need to know what m equals, and I need to know what b equals. What's this problem tell me about m? It tells me it's -2. Let me not write with a highlighter. It tells me m is -2. What's this problem tell me about b? Well, nothing. So I got to write down what I know. So what am I going to do to find b? I'm going to take this ordered pair, -3, -5, and I'm going to plug them in for x and y. So what am I plugging in for x? -3. What am I plugging in for y? -5. So I'd have -5 equals -2 times -3 plus b. Notice I'm always plugging my x value in parentheses, because whenever you plug a number in, you always wrap parentheses around it. So now I'm going to go ahead and solve. -2 and -3 make 6. To get b by itself, I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. So b equals -11. So can I circle this and be done? Nope. I got to write my equation. So what's it going to look like? Y equals -2x minus 11. And I'm done. Let's try another one. And I keep writing with a highlighter. Example. Given a slope of 1/2 and a 0.31, write the equation of a line. So go ahead and pause this video and let's try this one on your own, and then we'll bring it back. I understand fractions are a little scary, but just think about what do we always do to get rid of fractions? Alright, so I see the word equation of a line, so I'm going to highlight it, and what do I write underneath it? Y equals mx plus b. In order to write an equation of a line, what do I need to know? I need to know what m equals, and I need to know what b equals. What's this problem tell me about m? Well, it tells me it's 1/2. What's this problem tell me about b? Nothing. So, y equals 1/2 x plus b. So what am I going to do to find b? I'm going to use this ordered pair, and I'm going to plug 3 in for x and 1 in for y. So I'll do 1 equals 1/2 times 3 plus b. So, okay, anybody remember the trick in order to multiply those fractions, what I would do? I do my over 1 trick. So top times top, which is 3, bottom times bottom, which is 2, plus b equals 1. Okay, how do I get rid of fractions? I got to multiply everything by the denominator. So multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2. So I have 2 equals 3 plus 2b. So now I'm going to solve. What am I going to do first? Subtract 3 on both sides. I get -1 equals 2b. And then I divide by 2. So if I come over here, b equals -1/2. Fill it in on my table over there. So I found m, I found b, I'm done. But wait, I got to write my equation. Y equals 1/2 x minus 1/2. And I'm done. Let's try another one. I'm not going to write down all of the words. I'm going to say slope equals 3/5, and my point is 1, 4. Pause this video. Oh wait, let me write the directions before you pause. Write equation of a line. Go ahead, pause this video, try this one on your own. So I see the words equation of a line, I'm going to highlight it. What do I write underneath it? Y equals mx plus b. I hope that I have said this so many times in this video that you are now an expert at whenever you see the word equation of a line, you say y equals mx plus b. So, in order to write an equation of a line, I need to know what m equals, I need to know what b equals. What do I know about m? It's 3/5. What do I know about b? Nothing. So, write what I know. Y equals 3 over 5x plus b. So what am I going to do to find b? I'm going to take this ordered pair, and I'm going to plug 1 in for x, and 4 in for y. So I have 4, and then 3 over 5, and in parentheses, plug in 1, plus b. I'm going to do my over 1 trick. So I have 4 equals 3 over 5 plus b. And I got to get rid of fractions. How am I going to get rid of fractions? I'm going to multiply everything by 5. So I have 20 equals 3 plus 5b. So what am I going to do first to get b by itself? Subtract 3. I have 17 equals 5b. Divide by 5. So b equals 17 over 5. Can I simplify this? Nope. Write it. Am I done? Nope. Write my equation. Y equals 3 over 5x plus 17 over 5. And I am done. Okay. Hopefully this is making some sense. Keep in mind, whenever you see the word equation of a line, y equals mx plus b, you need to know m and b in order to write your equation. And last but not least, remember, yes, I'm using x and y, and I'm turning them into numbers because of this ordered pair that the problem gave me. But my final answer has to have an x and a y. It can't have numbers. So I'm going to write down 3 practice problems, and I want you to practice these problems on your own. And then when you finish, I want you to go ahead and check with your elbow partner. So here are the directions. Write equation of a line given. 3 practice problems. First one, slope is 2, and the point is negative 1, 4. The next one, my slope is negative 7, and the point is negative 3, negative 2. And the last one, my slope is 1/4, and the point that I'm going to give you is 5, 1. Pause this video, solve these 3 problems. When you're finished with them, check with your elbow partner. Make sure you got the correct answers.